I want to ask each of you about some of the specific criticisms you faced in this campaign, and I will start with the FBI investigation. And to be clear, there is no reporting that Mr. McKee himself is under FBI investigation, but there is an FBI investigation we've learned into a state contract that his administration awarded. That was into the ILO Group, a consulting firm that was founded the week the governor took office by someone working for one of your close political allies at the time. After that investigation became public, you told reporters, quote, "When the dust settles and you come up empty, who's going to have the courage to write that story?" So are you saying you have no regrets at all about any of the process that led to the ILO contract or the contract itself, so long as there are no criminal charges?
Well, first of all, I don't have regrets on making sure that we got kids back to school safely. In terms of this issue, it doesn't come up anywhere on my campaign trail. The people in the state of Rhode Island are not interested in this story. They know that as governor, that I came into a difficult, personal, an unmanageable situation, right? A health emergency where we were lowest vaccinated in the country. A education situation where we were not fully back in school, and we knew that we were going to have 3 to 5 years of learning recovery. An economy where the businesses weren't open, and an equity issue that we paid a lot of attention to. So I did go out to experts, people who I could trust to give me the best information I could, and the results speak for themselves. So as far as I can tell you, as I answered the question 3 weeks ago, that no one has contacted me about this issue that is reviewing the situation. And I also answered the question, look, if you want more information, go to the people who are conducting the review. They're the ones who are in position to give you the answers that you want. And right now, I am not concerned. I have not been concerned for quite some time, and I do not hear that on the trail. All I do is see it in negative, disparaging ads that my opponent is putting on right now, trying to convince people of things that are just not true.
Well, Ms. Kalus, that is what Mr. McKee has consistently said. He came into a very difficult situation coming in midterm. We know where the vaccinations were at the time, and he was looking for expert advice. And this was what happened. What do you say to that defense of it?
And he sent an email saying how many millions to his inner circles, and he awarded a contract for $5 million over a group that bid for $1 million and had 20 years of experience. I mean, common sense says that it's just not common sense. And if he's so convinced that he's innocent, then I would ask that you release the subpoena into your administration. If you have nothing to hide, then just release it. And I would like to add that he says he knows nothing about the investigation. The subject of an investigation is often last to know. The subject doesn't receive the subpoena, they're indicted. And so if you sometimes, so if you're so sure, then release the subpoenas from your administration. You've said that you won't do that. If you feel so confident, please just do it for the people.
Let's go back to the millions of dollars that it's been made a lot of. It's in your ad. Anybody who knows me, that was saying, I'm not paying that much money. That's exactly what I said. And the individual, Mike McGee, who's taken over the coals, is someone one of the experts that I relied on to get schools open safely. Went out and vaccinated every teacher and every school worker in the state of Rhode Island. That was controversial. I did it immediately. I knew how important it was to open up schools. All procurement process were followed that were in place at that given time. So we know we followed the procedures. We know that we've got expert advice from Dr. Jha to people that helped us with the vaccinations, from people who helped me staff my administration. I certainly won't mention their names for fear that my opponent might go after them for insider deals. The question here is very simple. I did everything, every decision that I made as governor under extreme circumstances that people might not forget, might not remember, to make sure in the best interest of the people in the state of Rhode Island.
Just real quick, if I could jump in, you said, I'm not going to pay that. That contract was valued at $5.2 million, to be clear, correct?
That was up to $5.2 million.
Right.
And the email that we're talking about was substantially more. And then what we did, we went to a procurement process. And we went through a process where we had an up to level, which was never reported initially.
Certainly, that is not true. Mr. McKee, in every one of our reports, we will not let you get away with that. In every single one of our reports, we have said up to $5.2 million. Every single one.
Well, I'm not accusing you. I can tell you.
Well, also, you sent it to competitive bidding. Why were you involved? You're not supposed to be involved.
I am not
in
involved. That is the look.
You said you're not paying that.
We're
Why
spending
would
an
you be
awful lot of
involved?
time on issues that really the people are not even interested in.
The integrity of the governor is an
Briefly,
important
Ms. McKee,
issue.
because I do want to ask about
Yeah, you can move to me.
You just said we should move on, Mr. McKee.
I'm ready to move on.
All right.
I've been ready to move on this for quite some
I would
time.
ask for
Because
people.
you're taking people who volunteered their time.
Briefly.
The people who volunteered their time. There was no transition budget when I came in. Volunteered their time in one of the most difficult circumstances the state has ever seen. And they volunteered their time, and I took their advice, and the results show best vaccinated,
all right,
fastest improving economy. No, hold on.
No,
fastest improving economy.
Before, Mr. McKee.
We opened our schools safely.
Just because you can break the rules doesn't mean that you should. The test of a leader is their ability to.
No rules were broken.
You do not. I mean, you just said I'm not paying that. You sent it to competitive bidding, and you were involved.
Ms. Kalus, we've litigated this enough. Ted,
you should release the subpoena before people vote. You should release the subpoena. They have a right to know.
All right, we are moving on.